I didn't even realize actually when my first film happened, when my first song became a very, very big hit. Uh, I didn't even realize. I suddenly was sitting in my living room one day and I heard it playing in my society, and that's when I realized that the song's doing well.
यादों के कमरे में गूंजे है सुनकर इसे आता है याद हाथों में मेरे जंजीरें हैं तू ही आके इनको निकाल जरा कर मुझे यहाँ से रेहा मैं
I was definitely influenced because of my family's profession, and especially my father, because ever since I was small, I would just I would spend more time in the studios than at school. So that's when the entire influence began on me. I started learning music at the age of 11, and that's also because of my father, and he put me up with some really good teachers. And yeah, but obviously there comes a point in life when you have to take your own decisions, and I think the career is obviously meant to be a personal decision because it's driven not by family inheritance but driven by passion. That's what makes it a true art. And when I was around 16 years old, I decided to be a Hindi film composer and started working towards it. And when I was 19, I did my first film.
बिखरे बिखरे से थे हम पहले अब संवरने लगे तुम्हारी गलियों से रोजाना जो हम गुजरने लगे वजह तुम हो वजह तुम हो
Well, a lot of them, because I believe that it's very important to study the work and the lives of other composers. And when I did that as a student, I still do. I could not help but be enamored by so many of them. And to mention a few, obviously it all began with my father. But after that, to mention a few, probably composers like Madan Mohan, Lakshmikant Pyarelal, obviously a few other musicians, instrumentalists like Ahmad Jamal, Oscar Peterson, and later on probably a few contemporary composers who were working that time when I was in college. Also, it definitely played a lot on my mind, and yeah, then I found my own voice. I didn't even realize when the change happened, because I was never what you say. For me, I have chosen this profession for the music, and everything else comes secondary. The popularity, the fame, or whatever else that can be termed as so-called materialistic, has always been secondary. So even as a teenager, my focus was music. How do I learn more? How do I enrich my art? How do I get my craft better? I didn't even realize actually when my first film happened, when my first song became a very, very big hit. I didn't even realize. I suddenly was sitting in my living room one day and I heard it playing in my society, and that's when I realized that the song's doing well. So I didn't even realize, and I think that it was a smooth transition, and I think I better keep it that way. I still consider myself as a student only, and that's what helps me stay grounded, and it also helps me keep my focus on creating good music and not wondering that how big have I become.
काफी नहीं तो खुदा से मांग लूं मोहलत में एक नहीं रहना है बस यहाँ अब दूर तुझसे जाना नहीं.
Nobody really can define and say that this is the formula of creating music. Nobody knows how it comes. It's definitely something from above. But yeah, if you try to get into, relatively speaking, like, I'm not really known for quantity. I would at least take the liberty of saying that I try to pursue quality. And in the last 10 years of my career, it's not that I haven't done too many films. done what, probably 18 films. I think that's a more fulfilling experience, to know that my music has made some difference somewhere. Awards are great. It's a momentary glory, but it's also very, very tricky. It can mess with your head and cause a lot of damage also. So I even when I enter the studio, I try not to look at them. I try to just look away from them and then get to work straight away. So that's my take on awards.
भांग धतूरा बेल का पत्ता तीनों लोग इसी की सत्ता स्पीकर भी अडिग अमर है महादेव हर हर है जत्ता वही शून्य है वही इकाई वही शून्य है वही
Well, I have a lot of film soundtracks coming up, and that's something that I really enjoy, because I really enjoy setting stories to music, and I have some really good films coming up. One of them being with the same director with whom I worked on Ashiki 2. So there's a film called Half Girlfriend coming up, and then I have another film with the same director, Honor, who you mentioned about back in 2006, who I worked with. So I'm working with him on a full soundtrack for a film called Shab, and then later on I'll be also doing the music for a sequel for a 2007 very, very successful film called Aksar, which is being made into a sequel. So yeah, lots of film work happening, and also I'll be diverting, since apparently everyone's saying the future is digital, right? So I want to establish a connect with my listeners on that platform as well, and I want to do some non-film music, which is probably I look forward to in 2017.
अब तुम ही हो जिंदगी अब तुम ही हो चैन भी मेरा दर्द भी मेरी आशिकी अब तुम ही हो
I think now it's not really about the family, because what my family gave me was probably more in the growing up years, and instilling that content inside me. But now I think what drives me every morning is just life itself, because it's not that there's anything else that I'm good at anyways. So
ये दिल तन्हा क्यों रहे क्यों हम टुकड़ों में जिए क्यों रूह मेरी ऐसा है
so there are days when you feel disconnected, you don't feel like working, or you feel everything is futile, and you have everybody has those kind of days when you feel everything is vanity. It's like chasing the wind, as Solomon has written in the book of Ecclesiastes, right? So you do have those days, but then when you probably read an email, or you see a tweet, and you see how much difference your work makes in the lives of people, and to what extent they can pursue you and be connected to you, and how much you actually mean to them, it can be frightening sometimes, but equally motivating as well. So that means a lot to me, and it's probably a pushing factor for me, linking both your questions, ki one of the reasons why I wake up and enter the studio as well.
मैं बन गया हूँ मुझको बसा ले इनमें तू मुझसे ये हर घड़ी मेरा दिल कहे तुम ही हो उसकी
I did the music for a film in 2007 called Anwar, in which there was a song called Maula Mere Maula, which was very, very well received all over the world, I would say. What really makes that song special for me is not that it became such a popular song, but I was unsure of that song when I was working on that song. In fact, 1 week before the release, I remember asking my father that, Dad, I think this is, telling him That I think this is going to go completely kaput. It's not going to work at all. People are not going to receive this because I had just come from a very successful soundtrack with Honor, the one that you spoke of, and there were a lot of expectations now pinned on the music of Honor. People were curious, they were looking forward to it, and this was the first song to come out, and I actually had that feeling that it's not going to work because while making that song, I was not paying attention on anything. Like it was a very, very internal song for me. It was just that I was just doing what I wanted to do, not caring about anything else, not caring about trends, not caring about public demand, not caring about analysis. So I just did it thinking, exactly the way, not caring about structures, not caring about time patterns. It was very, very natural to me. And when that song did well, it actually taught me so much as a composer that, and even as a human being, that you need to be yourself no matter what, and you will be accepted as long as you're honest. So that's why I would mention that song today.
Remember to subscribe for all the new hit music weekly. Click here for the newest trends at Dukascopy Fashion. For brand new celebrity interviews at Dukascopy Stars, click here. Got a question that needs to be answered? Try Dukascopy 911.